Good, good. My name is Bakari Sellers. I'm from the Strom Law Firm in Columbia, South Carolina. Here with me today, I have Harry Daniels from the law firm of Harry and Daniels, and I have Mr. Clayton Tyler. Oh, there he is. I was like, where is he? He's here with me as well today from right here, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Today is a day in which we take another step in the journey to bring justice for Ricky Cobb. Today is a day that I have the honor of standing with this amazing family. I'm standing with Ricky's mother, his father, his brother, his sisters, the mother of his children, mothers of his children. I have a representative of the community here, Mr. Spike Moss. And we're here today to announce that we filed a lawsuit against the officers in this case. This is the estate of Ricky Cobb II versus Ryan Londregan and Brett Seide, unsure how to pronounce his last name. We have filed a federal civil rights action this morning against both officers. I'll go through the causes of action just briefly. After I speak, we'll have Harry Daniels say a few words. We'll have Clay say a few words. We'll have members of the family speak. We'll have the mothers of his children say a few words, and then we'll answer any questions you all may have. The first cause of action is an unreasonable seizure in violation of the 4th and 14th Amendment. Those causes of action go against both officers in the death of Ricky Cobb II. The second cause of action is excessive use of force in violation of the 4th and 14th Amendment against both officers in this case. This family's been through a lot. We've seen the media, we've seen the police union, we've seen everybody in this city act like Ricky Cobb II is not the victim in this case. People have treated this officer like he is the victim in this case. And so we're here today to say that Ricky Cobb II lost his life, but he should be here today. He should be celebrating the birthdays of his children. He should be celebrating holidays with his family. He should be a member of the community. Ricky Cobb was a productive citizen of this community, and we will not let you vilify him. We will not let you punish him in his death. We want him to be allowed to rest in peace. And today is another step in the journey of bringing those officers who caused his death to justice. Now, the last thing that I say before I turn it over to Harry Daniels is that one of the reasons we're in this building is because we also support the DA upstairs in bringing this criminal action against these officers. We believe that she should keep this case. We appreciate her transparency. We appreciate the fact that she's been open and honest with this family. And we hope that that officer is brought to justice, not only in the criminal court, but the civil court as well. Harry?
Thank you, Bakari. As we stood here before, this is our step towards justice for this family. The county attorney is pursuing the criminal matter. We are pursuing the civil matter. I was asked before, will there be a lawsuit? Absolutely, a lawsuit. Lawsuit's filed today because you can see this family and his children are left behind. Make no mistake about it, Ricky Cobb II should be here today. The policies in which this officer broke is the reason why Ricky is gone today. The video speaks for itself. We talked about that before. There's nothing that I can say that anybody else can say. The video speaks for itself. There was no rhyme, reason, or justification. It was a clear violation of the policy of the police department, of the State Patrol, and those policies were in play for a reason, because those policies are taken in mind consideration when force should be used and when force should not be used. Well, in this case, if the DA based her accusation or indictment on the grounds of that he violated the policies, it was not reasonable for him to shoot into the vehicle at Ricky Cobb, then clearly he violated the law. And Ricky Cobb is gone today because of this officer's action. As Bakari stated, we commend the state county attorney's office. We know that it's a lot of polarizing comments and such, and we commend them as being true ambassadors of justice here, and not being concerned about if you're wearing a badge, shield, or star. And I always say this, that injustice anywhere from Dr. King is a threat of justice anywhere. And today, we are pursuing justice on behalf of this family, but not just on behalf of this family. We're pursuing justice on behalf of the citizens of the state of Minnesota and this United States of America. Because one thing I would tell you, if accountability does not go forth, I promise you, Bakari Sellers, or whoever else, civil rights attorney, you will see us again. We saw it with George Floyd. We saw it with Dante Wright. Now you see it with Ricky Cobb. But enough is enough. And like I said, we are here and seeking justice, and we're not going to stop until justice is found. With that being said, Mr. Clay come up. He's a local counsel here for this great family.
I can't add much to what these two distinguished gentlemen said. All I can say is if the police officers had treated Ricky Cobb II with the respect and the dignity of a grown man, we probably wouldn't be here today. His family wouldn't be suffering. That's it.
We'll now have a few words from the community, and also I want to have I'm gonna have Ricky's brother. Actually, his sister speak first. I'm gonna let his brother speak last.
Hello everyone. Good morning. First and foremost, I would like to thank my Heavenly Father for allowing us this opportunity to speak in front of you and be with you today. Secondly, I appreciate you guys for even being here to support us, to hear our side, to hear our story, and to talk about Ricky Cobb II. As we know, he was murdered July 31st. As you see, our family, we still struggle with this. Time is not gonna heal it, but God got us.
He does.
It's just unfortunate that even still to today, I still see cars that's missing a headlight, that's missing a tail light, and they're just fine. They're just cruising, just having a good time. My brother should be here. Ricky Cobb II should be here. In due time, you all will hear the truth and hear everything about the situation and know that my brother did not do nothing wrong, that this officer did shoot my brother. He murdered him. He didn't have a pistol, a weapon, nothing in his hand. He did nothing wrong. And so we are seeking justice, not just for Ricky Cobb II, but for our community, for our people, for just everyone, because this isn't fair. Should no one be afraid to drive past a police officer because you don't know if you're going to get pulled over? Should no traffic stop end deadly, ever? Everyone should be able to get home. This past week, my son had a talent show, and a girl sang a song, but it made him cry. And I said, "Why'd you cry?" He said, "'Cause I thought about my Uncle Ricky." But the other kids in his class did not know that. So, right, just imagine his classmates laughing at him because he's crying, but not knowing he's missing his uncle. That's stuff we have to deal with. His kids cry on a daily. They can't call their dad. Birthdays just passed. His birthday is coming up. This is fairly hard. But once again, I appreciate you all for listening to us, supporting us, and being here. But we do need justice for Ricky Cobb II.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's do the mothers first if they have anything. We'll now have introduce yourself as well. The mothers of Ricky Cobb II's children. Say a few words. We'll have Spike say a few words, and then we'll finish with Rashad.
Hi, I am Danielle Pickett. I am the mother of Ricky's first two children.
My name is Olivia Stroh. I am the mother of his 7-year-old son. I just want to say that the pain that I felt from having to tell my son that the person he looks up to, the people the person who's supposed to protect and serve, he shot his daddy. And that's horrifying. It's horrifying to tell him that he's 7. And he doesn't deserve this. Ricky doesn't deserve this. His 4 other children don't deserve this. And he absolutely needs justice.
Our oldest son, Ricky III, had just recently had a birthday, and he turned 11, and it was the first birthday that he had without his father. At the party, he was fine, but on his actual birthday was when reality really hit that he couldn't talk to his dad, and his dad wasn't there to tell him happy birthday. Our second son is about to have one coming up in May as well, and that's going to be just as hard. If any of you have children, imagine your children walking out the door every day to go out to school and having to say goodbye to an urn instead of their actual parent. An urn is waiting for them every day when they come home after school. Every time we walk through the door, it's sitting there instead of Ricky. They can't call him, they can't talk to him, they don't have a father, and we're left to raise little boys without their dad being present. And to go off of what Octavia said about headlights and other people being able to ride around, my heart goes out to the people who have to get in a vehicle every day and leave their house and be afraid of police officers. And it's not anything that I will ever be able to understand. And it's just not okay, and it needs to stop. And another life was lost because of this. And we have fatherless children now. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Spike Moss. I've been a freedom fighter in this town since 1966.
Amen.
Since 1966, up until Floyd, we never once received justice. All county attorneys wouldn't even charge on our behalf. So the first thing we want to do in front of this family is give thanks, because it's the first time we've had African-American lawyers come and defend and represent us in this matter in this city. We were always alone, so we got to count that blessing first. But we got to understand this, and I fought these laws. You cannot stop African Americans in this city anymore for a tail light or anything else to do with your car. You broke that law. You can't pull the gun unless your life is threatened or the person you with's life is threatened. That's two things they broke. And then where was the training where the officer didn't even have the decency to let the other officer get out of the way that he's firing directly at? What about his training? So here's where we're really at. Black people in the Twin Cities, without even a law being broke, if a squad car is behind them, they're having a nervous fit because they don't believe they can make it home. So I need to say that in front of these lawyers. That means we're doing a couple things. We're trying to drive to where their people are before we stop. We're trying to drive where the light is before we stop, because we don't trust what they're going to do when you stop. Now, please understand, when you talk about Mr. Cobb, he's asking direct questions. You're not answering. If you don't think he's paranoid, he sees what usually happens when they don't answer. And he drove off. He didn't drive off because he broke a crime. There was no crime committed. You are also in the state of Minnesota. There's no capital punishment in the state of Minnesota. So how do you do all these capital punishments against African American people that you stop? And you did your research. And it said white people are 20-some% more apt to have something in their car illegal than African Americans. But yet you break all these laws consistently since 1966, and the reporting didn't help us, the police didn't help us, the mayor didn't help us, city council didn't help us, and now we're at the state level. And think about this way. The Civil Rights Department across the street never helped us. The human rights over the Capitol never helped us. We're on our own to survive by standing up with our lawyers to fight back. And the determination and guts of this family to stand up, because you're going to be harassed too, you can be threatened too. That's what we're up against. And please understand this. I'm the one that went down to the locker room with one of the chiefs and discovered the Nazi uniforms in the locker room in that courthouse. So you can join no matter what you belong to and participate in a crime as vicious as this crime. So as long as they're standing up, this family and our community that hears this, you got to stand up too. It ain't over till these lawyers say it's over.
Amen.
The last voice you'll hear is one of my new good friends throughout this journey. He's like my brother now, but Rashad Cobb, Ricky's twin brother.
Identical.
Identical twin.
Good morning. All praise to the Most High this morning, first and foremost. We as a family put God first, and we see the ugliness coming out of the people that we expect to protect and serve. Now, we only ask for something that's all right. We're not talking about white and black here. There's no color when you're talking about wrong and right. When you have laws set in place for wrong and right, certain things are set after wrongs are done to get right. My family shouldn't have to go through what we go through, and other families in the nation shouldn't have to go through it either. But we consistently have to go through it because the people that's in power don't really have any power. And then when they do show power, it's showing ugly face. We're tired of that. We want you guys to understand these are laws set in place for everybody, and people that have badges don't get set aside. People that have authority don't get set aside. If we have to come as a people to talk to the people for the people, then the people should hear the people and come together for the people. That makes sense to me. I don't see anything equal about what happens to my complexion in this country. When we go around the world, they love us. We walk outside our houses, they hate us. I want to figure out, what are we doing so bad as a people that you can decide our fates when we wake up? When we get inside courtrooms, you guys are already deciding on what's going on behind closed doors. That's not fair. We want equality. We want justice. We want our peace. And above all, we want our freedom. And if we don't get that understanding, then we're going to have to situate this how we usually situate it. I'm not threatening anybody. It's a lot of us out here. All we need to do is reinitiate love. We've been taught how to hate each other so obsoletely, it's not even funny anymore. We have to show love again. And with the process we have to go through, we need unity again. Thank you.
Say his name.
Ricky Cobb II.
Say his name.
Ricky Cobb II.
Say his name.
Ricky Cobb II.
Any questions?
After you sent the letter to the state in February, were there any talks, like settlement talks or
No,
anything like that?
we have not, and I personally look up to the Attorney General of the state of Minnesota. I personally look up to Keith Ellison. I've admired him for a very long period of time. We look forward to this legal process. We had to file a lawsuit, and that's what we did.
Governor Walz has not ruled out taking the case from Mary Moriarty. Can you comment on that? I know he met with the family at some point earlier, right?
My comment is this: we have faith that the governor will do the right thing. This is not about politics for us. I'm a politician by nature, but this ain't about politics to us. This is about a young man who lost his life. This is about a father. I mean, did you hear the powerful story of her talking about walking by an urn every single day? So my remarks to the governor would be to put yourself in the shoes, if you can, of this family and what they're going through. So I have a great deal of faith that he'll make the right decision.
Why doesn't the lawsuit name the state patrol or the state of Minnesota?
One of the reasons that it's a state have what they call immunity, 11th Amendment immunity under the Constitution. So you don't name the state in federal lawsuits under 1983 civil rights acts. The state can be named in certain other cases, but not this particular case. That's why we didn't name them. One thing that Spike brought up, and I want you guys to go look this up, after the George Floyd murder, the state entered into agreement with the city of Minneapolis that you cannot stop for defective equipment. All right. Now I want you to hear what I'm saying. The state entered into the agreement. Well, you have state agents, state patrol officers that's violating agreements that the state have with the city of Minneapolis. So on the basis alone, from the beginning, the stop was unjustified and unlawful. And to add a deadly weapon in the mix for no reason whatsoever. You got this thing called force continuum. Ricky was answering questions. Why mom getting out the car? Why? Spike, don't you think it's better to tell a person why they got out of the car than pull a gun on them and shoot and kill them? That's basic humanity. It's better to explain. And ultimately, what happened should not have happened because it violated the policies of that agency. The state patrol, the state police violated that policy. So when you're looking at the training aspect, you're looking at one officer reaching over to the car to pull his seatbelt off, whatever the case may be, then another officer is putting a gun out. It don't make sense. That's not the type of officers you want on your road.
That's true.
That's dangerous. That's dangerous. And the results is the result that we have here today.
We have not ruled out maybe filing in state court down the road against the department, but that we are well within the statute of limitations. That decision may be made later. Questions? Respectfully, do any women have questions? The men are kind of hogging the spotlight here in Minneapolis. Do any women have questions?
I know you got some questions.
What do you make of how political this situation has come?
First of all, I think.
I got him.
Go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead.
when you look at a people, right? Eagles get treated better than us. Dogs get treated better than us. You know, everybody get treated better than us. So when you look at political, this has nothing to do with politics. This is all moral standards. And Minnesota has no moral standards as we standing here today. All we're trying to figure out is put the politics aside, bring humanity back so we can figure out a moral understanding, right? No politics.
I've been disappointed. That's a really good answer, Rashad. I've been quite disappointed with counsel for the officer. I've been disappointed with the police union. But one of the things that I told Ricky's father yesterday when we had a little family meeting is that you just have to keep your eye on the ball. And for me, that's justice. For this family, that's justice. When I met with them originally, I said, there's something I can't do. I can't bring Ricky back. But I damn sure can fight for justice.
Real talk.
And so the politics aside, we'll let people get reelected. We'll let people support who they support. But we stand squarely on our 10 toes, and we will go toe-to-toe with whomever is in front of us to get to that goal of justice.
Respectfully, if I can.
Yes, you got it now. All right. There you go. Okay.
You mentioned the political nature of this case, but we do see now, our elected officials weighing in. Even yesterday, our Minnesota Republicans requesting that the House Judiciary Committee investigate the county attorney's office. What do you think it is about this case that has had so many politicians weighing in and led to this becoming so political in nature?
I'm pissed off. Not necessarily by your question, but by the actions of people that led to your question. Around the country, we're having a question about the value of black lives. Every single Republican that you named that's a part of that caucus gets to go home to their children. When the police are behind them, their hearts don't beat with fear. There is something innate about being black in this country, about being black in this city that I'm not sure they understand. And so I don't get a chance to vote for them. I don't get a chance to kick them out of office, and that's fine. I'm gonna let Spike handle all of that. But they can meet me in a courtroom. And that's where we're gonna fight this battle for justice. This battle will not be fought anywhere else. And this family, Rashad, has done a hell of a job. Because what you haven't seen is this city catch on fire. What you haven't seen is black folk act out of ourselves. What you haven't seen is us burning down our own communities.
Amen.
All of that is because of people like Rashad and Spike, who go to this community every day, who go home every day, his sisters who go home every day, and tell them that we're fighting for justice. And that's what this is about. And so if they want to fight against us, they can meet us in a courtroom. Harry?
I'm going to say for what it is. And at the end of the day, you're talking about the Republican caucus is talking about politicizing this thing as investigating the county district attorney. What was that Republican caucus when George Floyd was murdered? What was that caucus when Dante Wright was killed?
Come on now.
All right, what was that caucus when a Minneapolis police officer shot and killed a woman and went to prison? What was that caucus then?
That part.
The difference was that the case, the shooter was of color, and the two people who died was black. Here you got a district attorney that's doing the county attorney is doing her job. That's her job. It's the public, the people decide if the defendant is guilty. But it's her job to bring the case. That's what you want for your family member.
Yes.
To bring the case. And it's a slap in the face when and I've seen this all over the nation with Carter, and I've seen it all over the nation, where you got clear shootings, murders, and the district attorney turns a blind eye and don't even bring the case.
Come on.
And what choice you have? Then they criticize us. We go to the Department of Justice. You saw it in the Breonna Taylor case where the Attorney General stood and said, we're just going to bring misdemeanors.
Yeah.
The Department of Justice came in and brought charges because a lie was told to get a warrant the warrant ended up with the death of Breonna Taylor. This group of body you talking about, I'm from the great state of Georgia, and we got a DA down there named Fonnie Willis, and they did the same thing to her, and all she was is bringing a case against an individual, I'm not going to name that person, McCarty named him, who broke the law.
Okay.
But they want to prosecute her on something personal. It still doesn't negate the fact that he broke the damn law.
Period.
So when you have a political stunt that challenges this county attorney, it's sad. It's questioning as to who you put in your state house. Because last time I checked, this is the county of Hennepin, and the county of Hennepin people spoke and put her in office.
Spike wanted to add a few words, and then we're going to do one more question. I'm going to let this family, I got to, of course, get the black media, so I'm going to do one more question, and I'm going to let the family.
Let me first say to the lawyers, brilliant. Brilliant. But let me do some housekeeping with black history.
Come on now.
Minnesota's an anti-slave state that bought and sold slaves. The last study of the 5 worst states towards African Americans, Wisconsin's #1, Minnesota's #2, Iowa's #3, Illinois is #4, Michigan is #5. That means that the Midwest is worse than all of the South.
Facts.
And every year you go to the Capitol and you give a permit for all the racist groups to have their day on the Capitol steps. We are the only state that every racist organization is in. Some have 1 or 2. We have all of them. And they're in everything we do here, as you discriminate against everything we do here. I grew up here when Jim Crow was here, and you went to the stores down there on Nicollet Avenue, and it said whites only in them restaurants. I was here when you couldn't go get the hotel rooms, and you stayed at the Phyllis Wheatley house, and you ate in the basement because we were black. I was here when they made us live south of Glenwood Avenue. Blacks couldn't come across Ocean Highway till the projects came. And even when you built the projects here, you said whites on the west side, blacks on the east side, no mixing. So please don't act like you don't know your state. Don't act like you don't know your city. That made me very uncomfortable. I'm proud of what they're doing, but I'm not proud of you acting like you don't know the racism here.
Last question. Yes, sir. I couldn't go without having the black media ask at least one question.
Can you elaborate on the comment that you made, like, when we go out of town, they love us, but when we go outside, they hate us?
Well, we're original Israelites, and the world know this. We just don't. So when we travel the world, they love to see us. Even when they come here, they don't know why we act how we do, because we wasn't taught better. So when we see them around the world, they know who we are. And it's a problem that we don't know who we are. But, like Spike just said, the state of Minnesota know who we are, because they done kept us opposite of what's right the whole time. All we're asking for is what's right, and it's in sight. But if we got to fight for it, that's what we gonna do.
Amen. I think somebody over here had a question. Harry told me to let somebody to my left.
Let me say this.
All right.
All right, so let me say this to the question about the state being brought into the lawsuit. Now, once you file a lawsuit, you get what you call subpoena power. They get certain things that we can get discoverable as such. And if obviously we well within the time frame to bring this case, and in fact, once we get discovered information, we get communication, radio traffic, reports, statements were made to the investigators as such. We didn't have that information before. So once we get that subpoena power and we see the other claims that arise or other parties, we will be amending the complaint. So this lets you know this is the initial complaint. It does not mean it's not a complaint that will not change. With that being said, we're going to have Bakari. Any more questions?
Last question.
Can I just get the legal team to spell your name as far as please?
Denzel Washington, Deep now.
Real talk.
Bakari Sellers, Bakari Sellers, Sellers.
F. Clayton Tyler, Tyler.
I'm Harry Daniels. You don't know how to spell Harry Daniels, you're in trouble.
All right. Yeah, what we'll do is I will have each member of the family who spoke come up and spell your name.
Rashad, R-A-S-H-A-D. Cobb, C-O-B-B.
Period.
Octavia Ruffin, that's O-C-T as in Tom, A-V as in Victoria, I-A, R-U-F-F as in Frank, I-N as in Nancy.
Right on.
Danielle Pickett, DaniellePickett.
Olivia Stroh, Oliviastroh.
S-P-I-K-E, Spike, last name Moss, M-O-S-S.
Thank you, guys. We'll keep you updated. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a blessed day. Thank you for covering.
Mm-hmm.